Hey there. You're locked in with DXB today. I hope you're enjoying the show. Bit of an AI special at the moment. We are in discussion around the sofas here as to how AI is going to impact our lives, if not already. So let's move on with our next guest. So can a multi-generational workplace actually, well, work? Meaning, is there space for everyone out there, the baby boomers, the Gen Xers, the millennials, the Gen Zs, etc.? Let's ask, well, a leader when it comes to neuro-leadership excellence and, of course, professional development. Dr. Lina Almarestani joining us live here on the show. Lina, really appreciate your time. Thanks so much indeed for being with us.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
You know where I'm going to go first, don't you?
Well,
you know where I'm going to go
does,
first,
yeah,
because when I've got an expert in neuro-leadership sat alongside me, I've got to ask, Dr. Lina, what's neuro-leadership?
Gosh, yeah, so here it is. It's like quite a mouthful, but it's very simple. It's the application of neuroscience when it comes to leadership and basically how the brain functions.
Okay.
And so, you know, things such as decision-making, collaboration, emotional regulation, change management, that's really basically in a nutshell what it is.
And has that, and that's obviously something that we've been studying for many, many generations ourselves. Has that changed, or our approach to neuro-leadership changed in the age of AI?
You know, the thing is, I mean, I think in the past when it comes to neuroscience, it wasn't really incorporated somehow into the context of leadership. But today, in a very AI-driven world, suddenly everybody's talking about it.
Yeah.
Why? Because they've discovered that really it's our neuroanatomy that's going to help us outnumber somehow or take over AI, because there's always that question of, you know, is AI going to take over mankind? The truth is, it is using neuroleadership and knowing those tools that will allow us to navigate AI very smoothly and not be outtaken by it.
Right.
Very, very fascinating. Now, neuroleadership, emotional intelligence, can you tell us about how this is going to guide the next generation and the next generation of the workforce as well?
Of course. So, you know, today when we look at leaders, I mean, in the past it was almost like a one-style leadership. Today, the true leader is an agile and an adaptable one. And for us to be agile and adaptable in a very uncertain world, very volatile, very complex, very ambiguous, our only tool is emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
And so what is emotional intelligence, right? It's knowing more about ourselves, it's understanding others, it's knowing how to tackle tricky situations, right? Because at the end of the day, what are we? Humans, we're all about emotions. I mean, they actually had a bunch of Japanese scientists try to see if the robot can take over. And the only thing that basically held a difference between us and the robots was the emotions, because we adapt according to a changing environment because of our genetic code, while the robots, it's us who program them. So that's why emotions are so important. And within organizations and the level of stress that we're facing today, it is our #1 tool. So this is where leaders need to become very emotionally apt, and they have to understand themselves more, and through that create a very psychologically safe space and basically make people want to come to work happy.
Do you think today's leaders are ready for the revolution, obviously, of the tech-driven age? Are they equipped for that?
So they're very equipped technically. I mean, you know, like, yes, I wouldn't take that away from them. But it's very easy to be equipped technically. The challenge is really just human-human interaction.
Fair enough.
And I think because of the very fast-paced world that we're going through now, it's all about money making. So they tend to forget that, you know, in the past, the human resources are no longer called human resources, it's human capital. Because without the capital of the organization, nothing will happen.
100%.
And if you don't take care of the, you know, of the people, they're just gonna walk out. And I mean, I always say, you know, thank you, Gen Z, because they're the ones that gave that strength. They're the ones that opened our eyes to well-being and, you know, that work-life balance, and the fact that if I'm not happy at work, I'm just going to say goodbye. So as a leader, your real mission is to retain your team and to make them happy, because we know that through neuroscience, when you are in that very positive state, that's where the outstanding productivity comes out. So it's not about the tech savviness, it's just really about being, you know, a people's person.
100%.
Abbas has got members of his team here all nodding away down there. Going, yeah, you better believe it, boss, you better believe it.
They're the best. I mean, I really agree with your point, because they are actually the whole, I would say, horsepower behind all of this, and they are the ones that actually create this catalyst. So without them, like we say in Arabic, "إيد واحدة ما تصفق بروحها," which means one hand does not clap alone.
Yeah, teamwork makes the dream work.
100%.
Right? Yeah.
Dr. Lina, so would you say understanding the nervous system will support resilience and decision making in uncertain times?
Yes, of course, because here's how it goes. So uncertain times equal fear, equal stress. And the way that our brain operates under that is fight or flight mode. That's where the adrenaline spikes, and that's where literally you've got clouded mindset. So your prefrontal cortex is your area for decision making. And if you cannot navigate stress calmly, then all your decision making is bad. So when you are very emotionally apt and intelligent, you can regulate those emotions during times of stress. And at the end of the day, you as a leader need to walk the talk. So if you expect also your team to navigate stress, then you should be that role model for it. And that's where neuroscience comes in, right? That's where neuroleadership comes in. The more you understand how we operate under stress, the more you can navigate it and regulate it, and basically the outcomes and the decision makings are the best, especially during very heavy times of change.
How can you teach emotional intelligence or not? So if you were talking about leaders, if a leader admits that they don't have great EQ, is it something you can nurture or not?
100%. And so, the father of EQ was Daniel Goleman, and he came up with this, quite a while back. But the truth of the matter is, EQ has been there since the start of mankind.
Yeah.
And we observe that, as with anything else, our brain, our nervous system is neuroplastic, and that's one of the most adaptable things that we have. So, it's just, if there's a will, there's a way. And if you decide you want to learn it, you will make it happen. But it really starts from within. And are there tools there? 100%. We teach them every day. It resonates with a lot of people. People come back and they're saying, wow, it actually can happen. And so, yes, charisma, emotional intelligence, anything you set your mind to, you can learn. Because our nervous system is just neuroplastic and adaptable, and that's how we operate.
Dr. Lina, what you say is fascinating. So I have been in the corporate sector for over 12 years, and eventually towards the end of that, I just couldn't find meaning in what I was doing. I felt like I was making rich people richer, and the leaders of the organization that I was at were not really doing a great job in making the place a meaningful place to come and work, And I think Gen Z have definitely talked a lot about finding meaning, finding purpose at work. What would you tell leaders in organizations and how they can kind of help their employees find that purpose in what they're already doing?
Of course. So, I have to give it to them. When we look at the scope of the generations today in organizations, it is for the first time ever that we've got 5 generations working parallel to each other. And speaking about Gen Z, well, especially in the GCC, we're talking about 50% of the workforce are going to be under the age of 25.
Wow.
So yes, every single day I tell those millennials and every single generation before that, you need to thank this generation that's coming in, the AI tech savvy one, because they didn't just bring that tech savviness, they actually brought so much more. They brought the mental health awareness, the well-being, the work-life balance. And so it's a two-way process. In the same way that they learned from the previous generations a lot of behavioral traits, which they don't have. For example, delayed gratification. So yes, for them it's like click the button, gosh, noon 15 now is like what, noon 7 seconds? I'm starting to think there's somebody hiding in my garden outside with products. But that's where it is a combined effort of all the generations to really just shed the light on what are the strong traits that each generation holds and to come to peace with it. One of the things in organizations is you cannot be saying, oh, that generation, oh, this, or because then you start to actually implement that in the way you work. So really it's about the no stereotypes, no discrimination, just seeing beyond the age, seeing beyond the background. And I think in a very culturally diverse environment today, whether it's different backgrounds, different age, different genders, everything, that's really the number one tool. Continue to learn because we are highly adaptable and just learning never stops. Be a role model, embrace your team. Don't look at anything beyond the vision and mission of the organization. All of you work towards it, and that's where all barriers drop. Because at the end of the day, you want to come to work feeling happy. You don't want to be coming in thinking, I'm serving someone else, because the truth of the matter is you're serving yourself.
It's like an average dysfunctional family. You just have to learn to get along.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it all. It's like, the other day I took my daughter to Lilo and Stitch, and she's like, yeah, well, no one's perfect. And at the end of the day, we all make it happen because we're family.
Yes. Yeah. Well, Dr. Lina, we can't thank you enough for being here on the show and educating us on a little thing or two when it comes to emotional intelligence.
Thank you so much.
So thank
it's
you
been
so
an
much.
absolute pleasure. Thank you to all.